Good morning, everybody, dear friends and colleagues. And I would like to thank you, our visitors from abroad, for coming in this tense time. My dear friend, Gabriel Motzkin, director of Van Leer Institute, dear distinguished participants of the International Roundtable on Funding Research in the Humanities, I'm delighted to welcome you all and to open this impressive and challenging roundtable for two reasons: the collaborators and the subject. This event is a collaboration between the Israeli Academy of Sciences and Humanities with the Van Leer Institute. We are not only citizens of the same campus, but we are also very good friends. And this is not our first collaboration, and I'm sure that many others will follow suit, but it is the first one in my presidency. I'm a new president, and I rejoice it. Other major collaborators of the Roundtable are the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada and the Planning and Budgeting Committee of the Council of Higher Education in Israel. I'm proud with all our collaborators for the simple reason that we are engaged in a common interest, that is advancement of science and the recruitment of science for the benefit of society. This roundtable deals with a subject at the core of our common interest. Funding marks priorities and fair allocation of resources. And the feeling is that not enough importance is attached to humanities, with the result of its being under-budgeted. In addition to the major problem, some disciplines in the humanities, most of them in the interface between humanities and sciences, pose a special difficulty. For example, archaeology, geography, psychology, which in the past, at least at Tel Aviv University, in which I'm a member, used to be part of the humanities. Competition over resources and fair allocation is a challenging problem, yet no less challenging one is the difficulty to attract the best students, the partial renouncement of teaching languages, and the inability of the humanities to offer attractive opportunities of employment. Given the list of impressive participants, I'm sure the discussions will be fruitful and will touch upon the wider problems regarding the decline of humanities, and I wish us all success in our efforts to cure the problems. Thank you for coming, and I'm sure the discussions will be indeed very fruitful. My dear friend.
Well, thank you, Professor Cohen. Thank you, Nili, for those kind words. I want to especially thank Malka, because without Malka Rappaport-Chovav, this Think Conference would never have happened. And so I want to make it clear who is the spiritus rector of this event. Now, I have a few things to say concerning my take on all this, and since this is my one opportunity, I'm going to take 5 minutes to, in fact, tell you how I see things. Now, we have two issues in funding, which is how to get it and how to spend it. The first issue is how do we convince the people who give us money, usually states, to give money and to fund the humanities, which they see as a non-essential activity. In other words, we have to find good reasons, we have to claim that there is demand, and we have to be able to show that there is some kind of impact on society or on culture that makes it worthwhile to fund these things. If we can't do that, we won't get the money. Now, it's obvious that we're at a disadvantage in comparison to something, say, like the medical faculty, where everybody understands very well what medical research does and why it's good. And as you all know, they're willing to waste lots of money on worthless experiments in the hope that one experiment actually works out. They're not willing to do that with us. They're not willing to say, have 100 humanists and maybe 10 of them will work out. There's a very different kind of principle of budgeting involved in these two operations. And it means, in my experience, because I was Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, is that the people in humanities are of a very high level, but there's a qualification on that. Now, I'm talking as somebody who sat on all kinds of evaluation boards, whether the ERC, the DFG, the BMBF, and on and on and on. And so I've had some experience of handing out grants. And that's the second question, is how to spend it. And here is my major concern, which is that we produce and we have very good people, but we don't have flexible programs of the kind that would look for something for what we don't have, and I'll explain what we don't have, which is we don't have, and what we need desperately, are broad people. Your funding organizations, our universities, need people who are erudite across a range of disciplines and are not just experts on German social history of the late 19th century or something like that. They need to, in fact, have a broad range of understanding, even if only to read dossiers, but also in order to strategize for their institutions. So you have to have people who are trained in that way. We have perhaps an optical illusion. We think that there are people in the past who are always so great, Isaiah Berlin, Shmuel Noach Eisenstadt, all the rest, and where are they today? Part of that's an optical illusion. There are an awful lot of mediocrity in the past. You just have to do what I once did and study the history of 19th century German universities to realize how awful most of them were and not how great most of them were. But at the same time, it's true that we don't have programs that really encourage the exceptional people who are broad. And we don't have a good device for working with them. And because these people, Eisenstadt or something, he didn't come up through collaborative research projects. He didn't come up through one of these big grants that studies something across a wide range of things. He was formed in the fact that he had a burning curiosity about every field in which he encountered, to the point where he became semi-professional in a wide range of them. And our universities and our societies need a certain percentage of such people, and we don't have them in our increasingly technocratic society. Now, I want to say one word about the humanities, which is this. The humanities suffer from being very particular. At the Hebrew University, they put together the German and the Russian departments in one department because they thought everybody can do poetics together. And of course, you all know that German and Russian are notionally related as Indo-European languages, but apart from that, understanding one of them does not make you understand the other. In other words, our great problem in the humanities, and it's an insuperable problem, is that we don't have a uniform language of mathematics like the scientists. And we require people to learn a set of specific and different languages in order to do their research. And we don't know in the universities whether we want to give credit for beginning German or beginning Sumerian or anything else. We don't know because we say, you're just learning a language. We have to find a solution to this problem. Malka has one, which is to set up a central language school. But it's something that we need to figure out funding for, because without languages, the humanities will die. That's one thing. So that's the particular. The second thing is, what kind of generality do we need? Now, there's the general of philosophy, universal principles. But we also have forgotten that we have another ideal, which is the erudite. The erudite means somebody who is learned empirically across a wide range of fields. The flavor of the humanities is given in the conversation between the universalist and the erudite person. You need one person who knows a lot and the other person who can generalize a lot, and when the two of them get together, then sparks fly. So I want you to think about that, how to get it and how to spend it, because I think that we are at a turning point and we need to find a way of spending intelligently and getting more. Thank you.